This exposition was brought to you by VideoScribe. Make your own whiteboard video animations. 7-day free trial available today. In this video presentation, we will be comparing and analyzing the main theme in the novels To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee and 1984 by George Orwell. We have been taught many themes throughout the year, but the theme of class struggle has been the most influential in these works of literature. The theme of class struggle is the opposition and contention between social and/or economic classes. This idea of social inequality is deeply expressed and described by the authors in both novels. In George Orwell's novel, 1984, the civilization is divided into three separate social classes: the inner party, outer party, and the lower party. The inner party is the most dominant, powerful, and wealthy social class, and also the smallest social class. The outer party is well educated but has very little power and freedom. It makes up a medium-sized population. The lower party is the least powerful, least educated, and least wealthy, and makes up the majority of the population. George Orwell displays the ideas of class struggle by repetition. This concept of repetition is used when Orwell constantly is trying to convey the message of class struggle by repeating, "Big Brother is always watching." Big Brother is a godlike figure that is linked to the inner party. The inner party uses Big Brother to oppress the lower class by intimidating and brainwashing the lower class with propaganda. The lower class members are not allowed to partake in any action that will affect the party negatively. This society treats their citizens differently. An example of this would be that the lower class has different residencies from the higher class. The lower class buildings are not as elegant as the higher class. This is a big problem in the story. Although the inner party is not the most abundant of the social classes, they are the most powerful. The higher classes are capable of influencing the party's decisions due to the difference in income. The higher class abuse their power as the wealthy to fill the minds of the less educated and less aware. This abuse of power is evident when the party wants to control the lower society classes. Similarly, in To Kill a Mockingbird, the society is separated by wealth and colored skin. The African Americans in this social order receive gross treatment and shameful wages, while the white man receives supreme treatment and a tidy wage. The black community in To Kill a Mockingbird were not given equal treatment throughout the book and history. Individuals seem blinded by external features. In this case, the white citizens are blinded by the black community's skin color. If they put all external features aside and look at everybody the same, the oppression would not be evident, but it is not the case in To Kill a Mockingbird. For example, Tom Robinson and his fellow black minorities must struggle to be treated fairly and equally as the white community. The trial was a testament to how the lower classes had to struggle for the same treatment as the higher class, with Tom Robinson and his protege Atticus Finch trying to prove his innocence. Although the evidence was undeniably credible, the jury still did not deem Tom as innocent because he was African American living in a dominantly white society, trying to fight against the highest class. In the novel, it seems the black community is excluded from society. For instance, they have their own churches dedicated for blacks only, and during the Tom Robinson trial, they had a section that was meant for blacks only. With these details, it can be inferred that the society allows the people of higher social status to possess more authority and power. It is not fair to the minorities/lower classes. It is apparent that there is a class struggle and a fight for equality when they are not given equal treatment.
In both works, 1984 and To Kill a Mockingbird, leaders took the initiative to take a stand for what was right, and to fight the oppression against the lower classes. In the novel 1984, the individual that was eager to seek class equality and to destroy class struggle was Winston Smith. Additionally, in the book To Kill a Mockingbird, the main leader that decided to tackle the issue of class struggle was Atticus Finch. Both men understood that the inequality was not right, and no man or group of men should have this power over another individual just because of a difference in education and monetary situations. The authors of these novels understood that society has a tendency to favor the more educated, wealthy, and powerful people, thus want to convey the message that people who are not as powerful as others do not have to be put in a box. The authors wanted to relieve the tension between the class conflict and wanted to address both party arguments. Unfortunately, that didn't matter because the wealthy were too powerful. An example of this would be the Tom Robinson trial in To Kill a Mockingbird. The trial was set up so that Tom Robinson, as well as Atticus Finch and the Ewells, were able to express their views against the rape. Although Atticus was white, he still had to represent the black community because it was morally correct. Although Atticus was doing the right thing, he did not receive love and compassion from the white community. Quite frankly, he received the total opposite, receiving threats and backlash from the white community, while the Ewells and the white community were fighting with what they deemed correct. The battle between races and social classes was very evident during the trial. If races and rankings in society were not taken in account, Tom Robinson would have been innocent because all evidence was correct. But the societal power was too overwhelming for the lower classes, leading to Tom Robinson's death. Additionally, in 1984, the author is trying to address the issues of both parties, but the higher classes are too strong for the lower classes. For instance, Winston, representing the lower party, and O'Brien, representing the inner party, are aware that there is a lack of privacy in the society in which they live in. Winston knows that they are being monitored due to the telescreens. He writes in his diary secretly so that he won't get caught trying to record the history of the world. On the other hand, O'Brien is working with a party, and he is completely aware that the citizens having no privacy in their lives is perfect for the inner party's plans. It can be inferred that the inner party wanted the citizens to be monitored and controlled so that they don't have their free will. The proles and outer party would be considered the X factors of the rebellion, making up the majority of the population. Sadly, it would never occur due to the slower party being unaware and brainwashed by the use of propaganda taught by the inner party. Essentially, Winston was leading a revolution by himself, which meant that the chances of success were very little to none. As his rebellion became more sophisticated, the inner party felt him as a threat and tortured him until he had no more free will, and eventually the inner party was successful in tapping into Winston's head, ultimately making him to believe that 2 + 2 = 5, and changing his views of the world. Just like Tom Robinson in To Kill a Mockingbird, the considered dominant party won. The authors of the novels made the considered dominant party win to show that class struggle and oppression will most likely never end, and that one man isn't enough to stop it. The authors are sending a message that in order to end oppression and class conflict, everyone must stand up for what is right.